Hey troops, Roxee here and welcome to a Roxee Plays Games and welcome to a brand new game on the channel, Train Life, a railway simulator. I say a brand new game, I did put up one episode of this quite some time ago, but then I ended up playing a whole bunch of other games, never come back to it, can't even remember why it was so long ago. So I've actually taken that one off and I'm going to put a new playlist up. And this time we're actually going to be I'm going to be recording and showing you the tutorial. I didn't do that in the in my other well, the one video that I put up. It was I did the tutorial on my own and then recorded it after I finished the tutorial. So the plan this time is I'm going to do the tutorial. I'm going to split it into 3 sections because it took, if I remember rightly, about an hour 20 minutes, something like an hour and a half. I'm going to split it down to roughly 30-minute, 40-minute segments, and I'm going to put them up one day after the other. So obviously you're watching this one now, the next episode will be up tomorrow, and then the episode after that will be up the day after that one. Okay, we've created our character. Here he is. We're going to be well, I'm from the UK. We're going to be playing or starting from the UK again. The only one that is available is London. I've done all of my settings. Basically I've started it off in the easy settings. I've just bumped the money up. I've put on wheel slippage because that's off, and I've put on fog. I'll just basically change those few settings there. The reason why I put the money up is because I haven't got infinite money, but I've got to start off with 200,000, and the reason being is I don't want to spend a whole bunch of episodes doing job after job after job to get enough money to purchase my first train. I wanted to basically get a little bit of a head start, so that just makes the episodes start off in a better place. Right, let us crack on, and while we're loading it in, you guys can do your special thing of hitting those buttons. Last count, I think I've got 27
Welcome to Train Life and Europe, engineer. As you near your graduation of the engineer's exam, we commend you on your dream of starting your own railway transportation business. Before you graduate, we just need one final example of what you know, and some time behind the throttle won't hurt. After all, as an aspiring employer, it's best to be a shining example for your future employees. We've set up this short course in Germany for you to refresh your skills and show us what you've learned. Start by familiarizing yourself with the locomotive's controls. Then follow the instructions through the next few scenarios, and you'll be off on your own in no time at all. Take your time, but try not to derail the train. Management will have my head if a fresh graduate wrecks our training locomotive. Let's start off by taking a look around.
Wonderful. Right, before we do start looking around, let's just have a quick look at the HUD, which you can toggle on and off by pressing H. So if you want to get a nice screenshot, then that's what you can do. But what we are going to do is have a quick talk. So top left hand corner we've got our tutorial objectives. Below that we've got a letter A with like a radio kind of antenna above it. That is our communications, where we can talk to nearby stations to request access, have a look what jobs they got, etc. And then below that we've got our route set. At the moment it says no route set, and that's because we haven't set a route, and that button is the period key or the full stop. Basically, if once you've set a route to a location, you can then fine-tune it for certain areas, and we'll have a look at that a little bit later when we come to use it. We've got the mini-map underneath that, and then underneath the mini-map it says left, right, and underneath that you've got 128 meters. Basically that is the signal, so the lights, the green lights that's in front of us. Just past that there's the blue lights, and then underneath the blue lights you can see 2 black marks on the ground, they are signals. Switches. That left and right is the switches to change track, and you can see it kind of switches left and then switches right, like a crisscross. So those switches, that's what those left and right signs are. It tells you which way you're going to be going when you hit that switch, and the distance is underneath it. To the right of that it says next, and then it says proceed in blue. Then we've got a blue circle, an arrow, and then a blue circle. So that's basically saying that the next signal is blue and the one after that is blue. Right, so that is
zooming in and out can give you a better view of the world and your surroundings.
I didn't realise I was actually completing an objective while I was pointing out things then. To the right hand side at the top we've got the time and our money, and then down the bottom right hand side we've got our speedometer. It's in kilometres an hour. Obviously we're not moving at the moment, so it says 0, but just under the kilometres per hour it says 50, and that means that we are currently in a 50 zone. And then underneath that, starting from the left hand side, it says next at 62 and then 50 in a circle. That's saying that the next speed sign, which we can just see in front of us, 62 meters away, is a 50. So we're currently in a 50 and the next zone is a 50. We then got our throttle, which we can adjust with the W and S key. And then we've got our brakes in the red one, which is adjusted with our E and D. And then down the right hand side of that we've got R, which is our reverser. Our lights, the red exclamation mark is our emergency brake, and then underneath that the little wheel icon with like little lines coming off it, that is our slippage. And then the final bits we've got is our fuel, 100% little fuel tank, and then the shield is our health, which is at 100%. Right, so that is the HUD. Let's zoom in and out.
Your headlights are an important tool for seeing in the dark or in bad weather.
I am going to go through the whole tutorial. I'm not going to skip anything. I won't be skipping any of the chat. This is for people that are struggling, and obviously I can do my little adding in bits for anything that isn't explained that well.
Release your emergency brakes and we can get moving.
Right, spacebar.
We're going to start off with a nice slow pace. Just remember to always increase that throttle carefully.
So you can see the green throttle underneath the speedometer, 10%, 20, 30. That's what that is. We need to get up to 20 kilometers an hour, which is going to happen pretty quick.
Railways and wheels have very little friction, allowing you to coast along without wasting fuel.
Right, let's go down to 0.
Now, slow down, so we can try to do this in reverse.
Alright, so the red one now is going to be going up. This is our brake percentage. Right, let's put our reverser on. Oh no, we need to bring our brakes down to 0 first.
Toggle your reverser. This will allow us to change the locomotive's direction of movement. Increase your throttle again like before. You'll be moving in reverse this time.
Quick screenshot for the thumbnail.
Your emergency brakes are a necessary step for dealing with dangerous or unforeseen circumstances on the rails. Just be careful, as using the emergency brakes will wear out your locomotive the more they're used, and a worn-out train will have a worse time accelerating and braking.
So we can see our health is at 100%. We hit our emergency brake. And that's dropped down to 98.
Let's drive forward again, but this time we want to stop in front of a switch.
So we can see the switch currently underneath the mini-map, going down 72, 71, 70, 69, 68. I can't speak quick enough to show you that. And it's those things on the ground just next to the signal lights. You can see them just there on the ground. There's two of them. Those little box items, or black and grey things. I think I might have gone a little bit too far here, so let's just go back a touch. I was too busy looking at the things just there. There we go.
You always have the freedom to take whichever track you want. Try switching the direction and then drive through the switch.
There we go. So we need to just make sure we're right before the switches to change the switch direction, otherwise it won't activate in time. We're now moving over to the left hand side.
You can always use these switches in forward or reverse, provided another train is not currently occupying the switch.
So fairly straightforward at the moment. Not too much to talk about.
It's time to switch to the cab and get acquainted with the physical controls. Take your time and don't feel rushed.
Okay, so press C.
If things get too dark in the cab, don't be afraid to brighten things up a bit.
There's the cabin lights just there. We need to left click, hold, and then drag the switch up and down. Right, throttle is here. Brake lever is here. Emergency brake lever is here. Directional switch is here. Headlight knob is here. And then we've already done the cabin light, which is here.
You're ready to end the tutorial, or you can stay and drive some more. If you decide to stay, use the escape menu to go to the next tutorial whenever you're ready.
Cool. Next.
This locomotive is a bit busted, but still drivable. We're going to have to carefully get it to a service centre and get it fixed up, as well as refueled. On our way there, we'll cover the basics of railway rules.
Yep, horn works. Right, so we need to release the emergency brake.
Take a careful look at the speed signs and signals here. These will help inform you about what speeds you can expect to be limited to, as well as what speeds to expect in future signal blocks.
There we go, so we're coming up to a 30, that's indicated to the left hand side of the throttle down the right hand corner. It says 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, And there we go. And now the next one says in 470 is another 30. We've just gone through a 30 and we're going to be coming to another 30, which is down there somewhere. So chill, this game. Really, really relaxing. No stress. Just had a couple of games, or a few games of Call of Duty Warzone with Thompson Sponzy, and it certainly gets your blood pressure up a little bit. Right, we can see the next speed signal where the flashing light is, the flashing orange. So we've got a blue light for our switch, which is just there, which is indicated down underneath the minimap. Then we've got another switch coming up here, but that is going to be going for the opposite direction. And then we have got the yellow flashing light, that's for our speed. We've got an incline sign here. So we're going from a 30 to a 20 next.
Inclines and declines are an important factor to think about when driving a locomotive. Increase the throttle and pick up more speed to handle inclines, but always be prepared to scale the throttle back and increase the brakes if there's a decline soon after.
Okie dokie. So it said on that sign there was a 30 sign with a 20 underneath it, so that's indicating that we're coming into a 30, but the next zone is going to be a 20. I think that's how it works. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm no train expert by any means. I'm just a simmer, so to speak. Let's get the throttle off, because we are going to be going downhill fairly soon. There we go, so 20, and the next zone is 30 and 500 meters.
Remember, your locomotive is already looking a bit worse for wear. Let's use the regular brakes to slow down before these next signals, just to be safe.
Okay. So if you have a quick look at the minimap, where it says right, if we go to the right of where it says right, it says next, then we've got blue, yellow, an arrow, and then red, and it says proceed with caution. So that's basically telling us that the next signal we're coming up to is a blue and yellow. We can go through it, but we can go through it with caution, because after that signal, the next signal is going to be red. So we need to take caution and obviously select the correct track or going through it. And we need to stop somewhere around about here. Will be good.
Take careful note of the blocking signal lights and what they signify. Blocking signals update any time a train enters or leaves a block, so keep a close eye on these while you drive.
So the block we're in obviously is occupied by us, so people behind can't enter the block and people in front of us can't enter the block, but there's someone in front of us, so we can't enter that block, hence why you got the red lights in front of us. But we are allowed to go around it on the left hand side, and that is why we have got this blue light here but the caution lights underneath it. If we wasn't allowed to go through it, then this would be a red light telling us that we can't go through it. So we need to switch over onto the left hand side, so we press Q, where we got the blue, yellow arrow and then the red light, that red light will turn to blue, just like that. So we got a caution. However, once we've gone through the caution, the next light is going to be blue, and as we go through the lights, you will see the blue and the yellow will change to blue. Right, let's carry on. Hopefully that makes sense, what I'm saying there. These are just some of the things that aren't explained that well. It takes a little bit of understanding. There we go. So it's now telling us that the next section is a blue light, and we can see that in front of us. Our next speed limit
the service
is 30.
centre. These will be the lifeblood of our journey. We can buy new locomotives, new parts, or customize our locomotives and transportation mode here.
Excellent. So I'm not sure why we'll be doing a 20 and then it increases to a 30 just before we're hitting the end of the track here. Not very logical, is it? But hey ho. Right, we need to enter the service station, so we need to come to a full stop, then we can press the F button.
Always make sure your locomotive is topped up with fuel and repaired to prevent catastrophic issues.
Okay, so left hand side at the top here, we've got our repair and our fuel. And all we need to do is go to fix all, provided we've got the money to do it, of course. This fix all price is 24,000. 10% will be 3,200. We're going to go for the full lot. That's 24,000 user. And then the fuel, 10% will cost 12.90, and refuel oil will cost 10,094.
Let's reverse our locomotive with the service centre's roundtable and head back out.
Okay, and that's under utilities on the right hand side here. We click on that. Don't make the mistake I did. I was clicking this and then not knowing what was going on the game and all sorts of stuff. This, you don't need to touch this button. I don't know whether later on in the game you get extra options here. But for now, this is here on its own. You don't need to touch it. All you need to do is hit this reverse button and the train will switch around so that the front end here is facing the opposite direction. Just like that. And back to the game.
There's a locomotive ahead occupying one of the blocks. That said, the other block is free.
Cool. Right, so emergency brake off, normal brakes off, throttle up. And we've got a proceed with caution ahead of us. .20 speed limit in 80 meters. So we need to be aware of that. So where the green flashing lights are. Bring the throttle back. We can see the red light ahead there. That's going to be where our caution is, but we've already got our switch going over to the left hand side. We've gone through our caution, red lights on the right hand side, blue lights on the left. All safe for us to go through. And we're coming up to that uphill section, so we're going to slow down. We will need to increase our throttle at that point in time. Right about now. So speed limit is 20. And then it's going to be a 30. You can see the green light in the distance there with a speed sign underneath it. That's 120 meters away. there's a train on the right hand side that we had to avoid. All is good at the moment. Do need to think about some brakes though, because we're going downhill now and we're already at the speed limit.
Oh, another locomotive is up ahead. Take care to avoid it. If you make a mistake, remember to use your emergency brakes.
Okay, it's fine. So again, blue and yellow, caution, blue light on the left, red light on the right. There's nothing stopping you from stopping in front of the caution light, just to ascertain which track you want to go on and make sure you are going the right way. We're fine. It's all good in the hood, as they would say somewhere. Throttle back. There's the third locomotive that we're avoiding. And then I'm guessing we're going to have to stop at the end.
If you can avoid fines and collisions, you'll be able to do just fine, engineer.
Okay. I should do. Perfect. Right, that is those two segments done.
It's now time for the core of your work. We're going to practice taking and delivering wagons of goods.
Excellent. Right, so we have done the train control basics and driving and basic rules, and we're coming up to 30 minutes. So rather than me doing this next segment, which may take 10-15 minutes, and increasing that time, although if I was to do that I might be able to potentially break it down into two parts, but we'll stick at this. 30 minutes is a nice manageable time, then it's not too long, because I'm sure after that the episode will be a little bit longer, maybe quite a bit longer. So I think I'll call it an end of an episode there. This is part 1 of 3, I think, maybe 4, hopefully 3, of our tutorial for Train Life 8 Railway Simulator. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Like I say, I think our last count we was at 27 to reach the 500 subscriber milestone, and I am going to be doing a giveaway, and if we reach 500 before the end of October, so the 1st of November, I will have a look, and if we have reached 500 subscribers, I'm actually going to double the giveaway. So I will, instead of it being for one person, it will be for 2 people, and it's going to be a game gift card, so either Steam, PlayStation, Xbox, whatever it is that you wish. You will get a gift card for that. But obviously, to win, you've got to be in it to win it, as they say. So thanks for watching, stay safe, and I'll speak to you soon. In fact, I'll speak to you tomorrow for part 2 of this tutorial.